Alright folks, the day has finally come. After weeks, no months of waiting, I finally got my hands on the Sonos Arc Ultra. Let me tell you, this is like Christmas morning for us tech lovers. I've been counting the days and now it's here in all its glory. But first, a moment of silence for my beloved Samsung Q90C. That soundbar has been a trusted companion for about 2 years. But it's time to move on to bigger and hopefully better things. Step 1 was saying goodbye to my Q90C. As I unplugged the cables, I had a little moment. You know, the kind where you pat it on the back and say, you did good, bud. You did good, buddy. That's reality heat. Dust and pet hair everywhere. This was like finding the church's old AV closet after years of neglect. So I cleaned up the area and got to work removing the brackets. My wall told the story of many failed mount attempts. As you can see, think Swiss cheese but less tasty. So I grabbed some drywall filler, patched up those holes and started fresh. Pro tip, always clean your slate before a new install. It's like preparing your soul before Sunday service, you know what I'm saying? And now the star of the show, the Sonos Arc Ultra. Unboxing this beauty felt like unwrapping the 10 commandments of soundbars. The sleek design, that precision drilled grille, it's like it was saying, I was made for this living room. I used a human-centric wall mount for this setup. Why? Because the official Sonos mount is so expensive, it felt like paying for the church organist twice. At $40, this mount was easy on the wallet and even easier to install. Attach the brackets, use a leveler because no one likes crooked sound, and click it into place. Boom, done. I connected the HDMI ER cable to my LG C3 and plugged in the power. And let me tell you, as someone who has dealt with AV nightmares, this was smoother than a choir harmonizing on Sunday morning. Hallelujah. And then came the cherry on top. The Sonos Arc Ultra recognized my Apple TV remote instantly. No syncing, no drama, just pure plug and play magic. I was like, where have you been all my life? Next up, bars lovers. These sub 4s, these things are heavy. Like, are you sure you're not carrying a mini fridge? They're like at 36 pounds, they mean business. I positioned them in opposite corners for that balanced room shaking effect. These aren't just subs. They are room rumblers. And the cables connect seamlessly to the bottom, keeping everything neat and tidy. And those force cancelling drivers, they make sure the bars is right and clean. No unnecessary rumble unless it's intentional. It's like having a disciplined drummer who knows exactly when to strike. Now let's talk surrounds. The Era 300s, these speakers are beasts. Compared to my old Samsung Q90 series rears, the Era 300s are like comparing a hymn to a full-blown gospel choir. I mounted them on Sonos stands which are sturdy and they have cable management so clean you think a deacon organized them. I placed them slightly above ear height and angled toward the seating area. And once they were in place, I stood back and thought, yep, this is how you do home theater. Once everything was physically in place, the Sonos app took over. Setting up Wi-Fi was as easy as filling out a Connect card at church, quick and painless. The app recognized all my speakers instantly and guided me through assigning them to the living room, which I wanted to place them there because they were in my living room. It even played test tunes to make sure everything was working perfectly. Adding it to my Apple Home was just as seamless. No scanning, no hassle. It popped up like an eager usher ready to help. And within seconds, the whole system was synced and ready to go. If you saw the setup video, you know what I went through, that I went through some battles. The Sonos Sub 4 fought me. Trueplay had me waving my phone like a lunatic. And let's not forget the random song that played one day at 3 a.m. When I never even pressed play. Literally, I just got back from work and like talking to my friends and like, Blue, something was playing. But now I get it. After using the system for weeks, I'm here to tell you, Sonos has absolutely blown me away. Now, if you want to see the unboxing video, it's right here, probably right here. With the link right there, you can watch the unboxing video. So, is this the ultimate wireless home theater experience? Yes. And also, kinda maybe. Let's get into it. Now, let's start with the Sonos Arc Ultra, which I have here. You can see right here behind me. This thing is a monster. Dolby Atmos, massive soundstage, and insane vocal clarity. It has 12 drivers firing in all directions, making it sound like the room itself is producing sound. And let me tell you, the way sound moves with this thing is actually bizarrely good. My God. I watched Tom Hanks' Greyhound on my Apple TV 4K, and let me tell you, the way the system handled the insane naval battle scenes were superb. The deep rumble of the warships, the immersive surround of torpedoes, you know, cutting through the water, and the lights and the tight, powerful bass from my Sub 4s, it made it feel like I was right there in the middle of the ocean. All right? But let's talk about one issue I had, the volume situation, because this was a huge realization for me. Now, with my old system, which I replaced, which you must have seen, the Samsung Q90C, I could set the volume, you know, at 30%, and I already felt like, you know, I was in a theater. It was so loud, like it was hitting me right in the chest. But with the Sonos Arc Ultra, I had to crank it up to 60 plus to really feel, you know, the same impact. It's not that, now let me correct, it's not that the Sonos is weak. It's just more subtle and refined in how it presents audio. This is how I feel. How you feel, it's no problem, but this is how I feel. Now, onto my rears, the Era 300s. Not just rear speakers. These things create space. They don't just sit behind you, they surround you. Best with Atmos content. Watching an Atmos enabled movie, you are inside it, but you are just watching, if you're just watching regular cable TV or stereo content, you're not getting the full magic. I'm talking of height, I'm talking of surround, I'm talking of space. The Era 300s give me that. And then we have the Sub 4s. Oh my goodness. The depth, the power, the clean, controlled bass. I felt it in my chest. It's deep, but not muddy. Powerful, but precise. But let me be real. Advanced Trueplay had me questioning everything. Alright? First time I ran Trueplay, Advanced Trueplay, the bars felt, you know, muffled. I thought, what is this nonsense? You know, I kept tweaking everything in the EQ, I kept tweaking settings, I kept trying different, you know, placements and positions. Nothing was giving me the impact that I expected. Then I went and read it. And then I saw a Reddit thread where people were telling me, the Trueplay, do Trueplay for not just your, not just your living room, but the whole room, not just where you sit. So I did that. I walked around my entire living room like a madman, waving my phone, letting Sonos scan the room properly, and boom, the bass finally came to life. I kept trying. I would switch off the Trueplay and switch on just to hear the difference, and it did come to life. Trueplay really does work, but you have to do it right. So if you're buying the system, then I'm telling you, you have to do it right. If not, you wouldn't like it. Now, onto music. I listen to a lot of music, and I mean a lot. And let me tell you, I have never had music like this in my own home before. Spatial audio actually works. Instruments and vocals feel alive. Alright? The first time I played a well-mixed Atmos track, I literally had to pause the music because I was so caught off guard by how, you know, expansive it felt. The reverb, the way instruments are placed, the clarity, It's like stepping inside the studio itself. Bass is tight and controlled. It doesn't just shake, it breathes. And then when you have two sub 4s, forget about it. What kind of the tracks I listen to? Because you may be talking, okay, what tracks did he listen to? And he's talking like that. I listen to two sets of tracks: studio mix tracks and live mix tracks. Now I'm an audio engineer, church productions director, so I deal with a lot of live situations. Now in studio, I listen to Afrobeat tracks like wonderful Burna Boy's Higher. I listen to Olivia Rodrigo's tracks. I listen to Billie Eilish tracks. Now you may say, oh yeah, they're like crazy more Atmos mix tracks out there, but I'm talking about to an everyday person like me. I listen to these tracks, studio mix tracks, and Burna Boy's Higher. I mean, I could hear an Arya Star's songs. You could hear her singing right in front. You could hear that surroundness. You could hear Burna Boy's instrument and stuff just surrounding you and stuff. And then when you listen to Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license, and like everything is like, oh my God, especially when she reaches that particular part of her song, that there's that spread. You hear that whole spread around you. Billie Eilish Oxytocin, you hear that wonderful surround. That's the difference. Then I listen to live mix tracks because I wanted to hear live mix tracks, because one thing about music and productions is like in live mix situations, it's kind of really hard because you have a hard controlled environment. You don't know what to do. There are a lot of variables there for you. And oh my God, I listened to Burna Boy's Apple Music Live, Wizkid Apple Music Live, and Billie Eilish Apple Music Live, and I was blown away. Okay, I expected movies and music to sound good, but gaming, I was not prepared. I tested this system with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered on my PS5. Everything I played was on my PS5, by the way. The Last of Us Part 1, Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves, and God of War Ragnarok. Let's start with Need for Speed. The way engines roar and tires screech was insane. The same thing with Gran Turismo GT7 was insane. I mean, when you hit the nitros, you don't just hear it, you feel it. The sub 4 has that deep rumble that makes it feel like you are actually in the driver's seat. Then The Last of Us Part 1, that eerie silence, the rustling of the leaves, the distant sound of clickers, it was straight up terrifying. Okay, I know what I'm saying. The Era 300s make it sound like things are moving behind you, to be honest. And I keep, catching myself, looking over my shoulder. I'm like, what is that? In Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, gunfights, cinematic action, and that grand orchestral soundtrack all sound massive on the system. The Arc Ultra projects sound so widely that it feels theatrical, like you are in a movie. And then there's God of War Ragnarok. By the way, listen, I'm still dealing with this game, man. My guy Chike, like, he keeps laughing at me like, bro, it's been how long you're still playing this game? You've not even gone far. Thor keeps dealing with me. Now, Thor, he's giving me some nightmares and some beatings. But if anyone has tips on how to finally defeat him, please drop them in the comments, because this fight is stressing me out. Next up, I'm rewatching Oppenheimer on this. I want to rewatch Oppenheimer on this system because if a movie like Tom Hanks' Greyhound, sounds that good in it, I can only imagine what Hans Zimmer's score and all the massive explosions will feel like. For me, this thing is staying. All right. Now, if Sonos fixes that central channel strength, which I was looking for, all right, and connectivity issues, it's a 10 out of 10. Right now for me, it's a 9 out of 10. And why am I saying so? I've had a lot of connectivity issues. Now let's talk connectivity. Now Sonos has its own system which you can just immediately connect to. You could see my setup video from Sonos own system and play on all your Sonos. Now I have my Sonos surrounds here, my Era 300, my Subwoofer, and my Arc Ultra, which are all grouped as one in my living room. I also have a Sonos system that replaced the SL. I just cannot remember that. Okay, guys, bear with me. I'll put that right here in the description. Now if I'm playing from the Sonos system, any music and anything, it plays really well, connects very well. But I have an Apple HomePod first generation in my kitchen. I have a HomePod mini in my bedroom, and I have a HomePod mini in my bathroom. And many times I want to play everything. I just want to click one button, play music when I get up in the morning, while I'm showering, while I'm preparing for work that day, or I'm doing some work right here in my living room. I just want music around my house playing, you know, I just want to walk everywhere and just have music playing. But I have issues in connectivity. When I try to connect something, it kind of stutters. I do not know why. I don't know why, it just kind of stutters all the time. You are seeing this whole stuttering issue. It just doesn't, it's not smooth. But Apple system and Sonos system, I don't know. Now, I've heard that Sonos is actually coming with a new streaming box, and I believe maybe that might solve all the whole issues, because Apple TV streaming box, which I use, my Apple TV 4K here, sounds really, does everything for me really, really well. And it acts like my, how would you say, my main system for my home, my Apple Home Kit and home appliances. Would I say you should go for Sonos, or would I say you should go for Samsung? Right, the Samsung Q90C, for me, it's the best bang for your buck, because at $900, $1,200, sometimes like $1,000, you would get a wonderful sound system. Now, for you to spend a lot on the Sonos system, you're going to spend a lot to get all of these 2 sub-4s. Do you really need 2 sub-4s? I don't know. It's up to you. I'm a sound guy, so that was for me. 2 Era 300s, which you need, your Sonos Arc Ultra, you're going to be looking at almost $3,000. Almost. So, but you can get, like, for a fraction of that price, you could get a Samsung Q90C, or even the D, or whatever it is that they produce today, the E. And if you have Samsung, latest Samsung TV, you could use Q Symphony, which then makes the TV itself sounds like a central channel for you, incorporating the TV with the Samsung system. So you see the difference. Now, you could really, but you need a Samsung TV for that to work. Now, I was in the gap of saying, okay, should I return the Sonos and keep the Samsung? I was like that when I had not yet set advanced Trueplay very well. Until I set advanced Trueplay very well, and I'm blown away. I'm massively blown away by this system. Okay, you may do it and you don't get advanced Trueplay, keep tweaking. You may do it and quick Trueplay works for you. I wouldn't say you should stick with that, but keep tweaking until you find the right spot. Keep moving your sub around, they call it crawling, until you hear it at a very deep point, and then that's the point you should place it. Keep doing all of that until you hear it well. Every room has a different acoustics. My room, you could see that my ceiling is actually really short. You may have very high ceiling that doesn't really work well for you, but I think in literally every average situation, the Sonos system will work well for you. If you have very high ceilings, then maybe you're looking at getting an amp and some ceiling speakers. That's up to your preference, but for now, I'm going to be keeping the Sonos system. And when I move into a bigger apartment, a different apartment, I'll probably use this in my movies room, and have the other one in my bedroom or in my living room. Right now in my bedroom, I just have a Vizio 11.1.4 system, which I'd had like since 2021, and it's been working really perfect. Really perfect for me. There's nothing I think that sounds real good, this good, especially in music and in Atmos spatial audio content and Dolby Atmos content, than the Sonos system, if you're willing to trade a little bit. Now, drop a comment, and let's talk. Tell me your mind. Drop a comment and subscribe, like, share this video and turn on those notifications. I'm gonna see you in the next one. I have a lot more videos. If you think I missed anything, if you think there are more things for me to talk about, drop it right there in the comment section. Let's have a very good discourse, and see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one. Peace.